Carly Spencer had to finally give in. The General Hospital recap for August 18, 2023, features Carly realizing that sometimes you have to let people try to be nice even if you're mean. In this episode, Sonny dropped by Carly's with a late-night offer, but she yelled at him so much he had trouble getting the words out. Anna realized that Valentine had been lying to her, as did Dante. At the Quartermain mansion, Tracy nursed a hangover as she bickered with Nettie. Christina and Molly had another blow-up over surrogacy. And finally, Gregory told Finn the truth about his condition. Now let's dig a little deeper into the details. Sonny, Maurice Benard, showed up at Carly's Laura Wright door late at night, alarming her, but she figured he just wanted a favor. Nope. He wanted to do her a favor, and she immediately turned it down, not even knowing what the offer would be. She then proceeded to yell in his face as she was apt to do. She didn't need any help from her ex, and that was that. However, when the subject of Drew, Cameron Matheson, came up, she was willing to take anything Sonny had to offer. He told her he could get Drew out of solitary confinement, and she told him to go for it despite the fact that he really didn't need Carly's permission to do this. Carly thought he was clever to offer her a favor she couldn't refuse. Sonny didn't even want anything in return. Nettie Wally Kurth walked in on Tracy, Jane Elliott, trying to nurse her hangover, and was amused by what he saw. However, she refused to admit she got drunk by choice. She blamed Brooke Lynn, Amanda Seton, for giving her strong drinks at the luau. She knew Brooke Lynn had to be up to something when she took her to the pool. Nettie just thought the whole thing sounded fun. Tracy accused Nettie of just trying to avoid reality with his Eddie Main persona, and Nettie took offense to that. She told him he wasn't Eddie and then realized that he had heard her tell Olivia she wanted him committed. Tracy said she hoped a hospital could help him be Ned again. He said he was Eddie Main, and nobody could change that. She pointed out she was Ned Quartermain's mother, and she'd never stop fighting for her son. Christina, Kate Monsey, demanded to know why she wasn't invited to Molly's, Brooke and Smith, sushi party. Molly didn't even make any excuses for herself except that she was allowed to invite who she wanted to her own dinner party. She finally confessed that she and TJ had found a surrogate, and they weren't ready to tell her yet. Christina tried to be happy for them, but wondered why they'd hire someone when she offered her services for free. The sisters argued, and Christina caused Molly to cry when she pointed out that not using her as a surrogate would mean she wasn't related to the baby. Molly argued TJ, Taj Bello, would be and decided if Christina was their surrogate, the baby wouldn't be hers but only be known as a gift from her sister. That comment caused Christina to call Molly selfish. Finn, Michael Easton, finally asked Gregory Harrison, if he was sick, and Gregory had to confess that he indeed was. He had ALS. Finn immediately knew there was nothing he could do to help his father medically except for making his life more comfortable as his condition deteriorated. Finn couldn't believe Gregory had known about his condition for 6 months, but Gregory couldn't bring himself to say anything. As expected, Finn made it about himself. How could Gregory not trust him enough to tell him? Gregory admitted he didn't want anything to change and could already see a change in how Finn was looking at him. At least Gregory realized it was time to stop driving and hiding things. When he mentioned that Alexis, Nancy Lee Gran, knew, Finn was not happy at all. Dante, Dominic Zamprogna, was surprised to learn that Valentine, James Patrick Stewart, was never at El Key the night Anna's, Finola Hughes, house burned down. But at least he had Sam there to make him feel better as they told one another about their days. Dante got to hear all about Molly and Christina's sibling troubles, and Sam got to hear all about Cody's, Josh Kelly, antics at the Port Charles Police Department. Valentine and Anna checked into the Metro Court. They were both grateful nobody was hurt, but Anna was a depressed mess over losing her home. Valentine tried to be positive and encouraging, but Anna was still a nervous wreck hot mess. She didn't even want to take a trip to New York to see Swan Lake. Soon Marty, Michael E. Knight arrived and Valentine took things into the hall. Anna thought that Valentine didn't want him there, but she overheard Marty asking why he insisted on meeting that night. Later, Anna was further shocked and alarmed when Dante called to tell her that Valentine's car was never found at ELQ. There was also no water main break that night. Once off the phone with Dante, Anna snuck a look at what was in the envelope Marty delivered. They were papers about the Pikeman Group. Later, when Valentin got into bed to go to sleep, Anna had her back to him and told him straight out that she knew he lied to her. However, she covered up and said it was that he promised his shower would be 5 minutes, and it took 15. How will this truth come out? Spoilers seem to have forgotten that once upon a time, Michael hired Dex to dig up dirt on Sonny. Dex dug up the dirt. Sonny was working with pikemen to smuggle weapons into the US. That's a crime. But once they had the dirt, Michael and Dex decided not to use the dirt. But they still did it. And Sonny has to find out, sooner or later. We realize Sonny, Maurice Benard, has his hands full. He thinks the attack on his illegal dealings will come from Betty, Alla Lentini, and whoever her mysterious boss is. He also needs to protect Avery and the rest of his family. There's also Nina, Cynthia Watrous, who just doesn't seem cut out to be a mob wife. And Carly, Laura Wright, the ideal mob wife, who will never be out of Sonny's orbit. So Sonny isn't looking over his shoulder for Michael, Chad Duell, or Dex, Evan Hofer. Like many others who have started off not to praise Sonny but to bury him, Dex couldn't help it. He fell in love with the big, quiet-talking lug. Who would ever want to bring down such a sweet, caring, big-hearted criminal? And then there's Joss, Eden McCoy. Now that Dex is having sex with Joss, everything else is naturally going to the back burner. As for Michael first, his wife was pregnant for about 1.5 years, and then she only had 6 weeks to live for a good 6 months. He's been preoccupied too. Add to that wonder child Wiley, that evil Nina who wants to visit her grandson, a new baby daughter, and a wife who timidly mentioned she might like to go back to work now that she's better, and Michael has his hands full. He has to explain why it's better if she has nothing in her life beyond him and the children. Who's got time for Sonny after all? So, while Dex and Michael may have forgotten about their initial betrayal of Sonny and moved on, it's a good bet when Sonny finally learns about it, and considering that secrets rarely stay that way in Port Charles, he will be furious and throw a lot of barware. And that's just the beginning. Sonny will be so disappointed in his Jason replacement. How will he feel about his favorite son? The actor shared how his character took shape. Curtis Ashford was a bit of a mystery when he arrived in Port Charles in November of 2015, despite being the former brother-in-law to the police commissioner, Jordan Ashford, and the uncle to her son TJ. He started out as a private detective hired by Hayden Barnes to find out who was trying to kill her and clear Sean Butler's name. Actor Donald Turner recalls his first day on the set of General Hospital. Turner fielded fan questions at a recent Zoom event hosted by Coastal Entertainment. The first question on their minds was, did the actor remember his first day on the set and who was in the scene with him? It may have been 8 years ago, but Turner recalled Curtis's debut like it was yesterday. I remember my first day on set. I was supposed to be a scruffy, unsavory character, kind of dirty and unpredictable, he shared. My first scene was with Rebecca Budig, who played Hayden. The actor described how the character was written in the script. When we first saw Curtis, he was sitting at a bar, and he had a cigar. They had me smoking a cigar, he said incredulously. They told me when they hired me to keep my beard and my earrings and my swag is what they said, but they were also trying to make me scruffy. Things don't always play out as written on a page. So when I showed up, he said, I just grew myself the way I normally do, and Rebecca had the funniest line. She was about to say her line, something like, you're scruffy and disheveled, and I can't trust you. But she couldn't say the line. She says, look at this man, he looks like a model. Often things change on the fly during the production of daytime dramas when a scene just doesn't work as written. So the writers came out, he continued, sharing how they addressed the problem. We changed the words on the fly. It was really funny. I think at that moment, Curtis was changed, and I told them that I don't smoke cigarettes and I don't really want to promote, tobacco use with my character. I don't think that's what Curtis is here for. Turner mused at how his journey began. It was just something that I can't forget that, this guy was a cigarette-smoking scruffy guy, and we changed lines on the fly that day. The rest is history.